Um, just want to let everybody know I've been in contact with a lady from our local area by the name of Susan Dradoppel. And Susan is a combination of a bunch of things. She runs a local camp in our area called Camp Hope. Oops.
Not anymore. She's retired.
And I'm admitting somebody else. Mrs. iPad or Mr. iPad.
Richard, Susan is officially retired. She
All right,
used
thank
to
you.
do Camp Hope.
So what does Susan do?
Like I said, she's officially retired, so I'm really not sure what she's doing to occupy her time.
Anyway, Susan used to run what we locals know as the Whitfield House, and also was, I don't know if she was a chief individual involved with the Moravian Historical Society, but she was very much involved in Moravian history. And so I've been in contact with Susan, and she is more than willing to do a Zoom meeting on Moravian history. And it may be her daughter who actually will do that part. And I also talked to Donna. I also talked to Susan about possibly doing a presentation about Moravian history and the Clewell family. And her comment was, well, that'll take a little bit more research, but she said, yeah, I should be able to do something like that. So I'm hoping between Susan and her daughter, there will be two different presentations, one on Moravian history and the other one being the Clewell family related to the Moravians. We don't have any kind of specific time set up. I know with Easter coming up in about a month, give or take, that might be a little bit difficult, but Susan's daughter might be able to do a presentation maybe a couple of weeks before Easter, maybe towards the tail end of March or something like that. But I just wanted to give everybody some kind of a notice about that and some kind of information. Does that make sense to everybody? Is that clear to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Real quick question, Richard. Is Susan going to talk to her daughter, Sarah, or do you need to contact Sarah?
I'm not sure. I'll work that out with Susan.
Okay.
So, okay, Donna, you are real concerned about a family reunion. Would you like to share your thoughts about the family reunion?
Well, I was thinking that it would be nice to have something in the summertime this summer. Things are kind of opening up, and it might be kind of small, and I'm kind of hoping that it would be on the smaller side, but then maybe get it from that, figure out what worked with the people that came and what doesn't work, and go on from there and see, where we want to go from there.
Okay.
So, like, I had just saw your email and just emailed you back like 5 minutes ago. And I have a lot of ideas, because I would be totally willing to be like kind of the person getting in touch with people and figuring out who's doing what and this and whatever, and what we think would work and what we don't think would work. But we would need a venue. We need a place to have it, and like people on the ground, making sure that it can happen. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, kind of until we have an agreement that, oh yeah, we're going to have it at such and such place, then all the other things can go into place. Like, when will we have it, and what will we do, and et cetera, et cetera.
Any other comments from anybody else?
You mentioned about possibly doing it at the Schoeneck Moravian Church. If that's the case, then I just need to have a date and then I can put a building use form into our Board of Elders and get it approved.
So
If you want to do it here in Nazareth at Schoeneck.
I kind of feel like, I mean, this is just my opinion, but I kind of feel like it should be the first kind of year that we're having one again. It should be at Schoeneck. And then seriously, as we get closer to it, as we're in contact with people who may or may not come, then talk about, well, do we want to have something like this again in Pennsylvania, or maybe in another spot in the country that there are a lot of Clewells, you know, to kind of mix it up a little bit. But I'm thinking, you know, because this is kind of like the first one in a while, and we're just coming out of like COVID, that we should do it with kind of, because everybody knows kind of what worked and what kind of didn't work. You know, so I'm kind of thinking, don't reinvent the wheel completely. Maybe the following year, if we're all like, hey, that was really good, we would like another one, then we can, you know, change something up by maybe having a different place.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly is doable. I was going to say that part of what I'm getting is a lot of people are just way long distance. I'd love to know almost everybody here. I know Peter is down in is it Alabama, Peter?
Yeah, we're from Huntsville, Alabama. Currently, I'm up here in Danville, Pennsylvania, though. So my daughter does live up here. So every now and then we plan a trip up to see my grandson, that sort of stuff. So things are possible.
Okay. I know Carol just mentioned that she lives.
I'm in California, and I can't travel anymore. I'm not of that status at my old age, but I have a grandson who has moved to Pennsylvania this past few years, and he's there, and he would like to meet the Clewell ancestors, so I might send him in my stead.
Oh, cool. Do you know where what town he lives in Pennsylvania?
No, I haven't found out from him yet. He does.
Okay.
I'm not sure he's aware of his county name. I don't know. Maybe he does. I'll ask him. No.
Okay. But
So,
go ahead.
oh, sorry. So, like, along with, if that seems like it might be a possibility, I was like thinking two things of as late in the summer that we can go without like running into some kids in other, like down south and stuff. They go back to school like in August. So like I was kind of thinking the last week of July or the first week of August, which is not near any holidays, plus would not interfere, hopefully, if any kids are going back to college or going back to school and they're coming to Pennsylvania. It's not like the week before they're going back to school, so that they would feel like, oh, you know, I really can't do it. And also I was thinking to move it to a Saturday instead of the typical Sunday, so that people who are maybe several hours away could still go, and if they wanted to stay over, they wouldn't be missing work. You know, they could travel home on the Sunday. And if they are taking a plane, they could take an airplane like maybe Friday night and then take it home on Sunday. So that, you know, they're not maybe missing work on either Friday or Monday. I mean, probably there's not going to be a lot of those people like the first year, but there probably might be a good amount of people that are like maybe 2 or 3 hours away. And then if it's on Saturday, they could drive in the morning and then like I just feel like Saturday would be a little bit better than Sunday. To have it on like Sunday afternoon. But maybe I'm not thinking of everything. I don't know.
Think of everything.
So I like the idea of the Saturday get together, because then you could do an early Sunday morning church and then leave after church and drive back too.
Exactly.
So I think that's a good proposal.
Along with that, people who would come up on a Saturday could spend Saturday morning going to the gravestones of our ancestors.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. We could probably make arrangements with like the Whitfield House and do something, either as a group, go down there. That's just a couple miles away. If it's a couple miles, mile and a half, maybe. Those kinds of things can be taken care of and that sort of thing. So would you think of like having the actual reunion, say from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock? We eat at 5 o'clock, and then say after 6 or 6:30, 7 o'clock, we all say, see you later, see you next year, or whatever. Is that what you're thinking?
Well,
of?
I would probably think of eating a little earlier. But yeah, like the from 1 to 5 or whatever sounds like what I was thinking, like a picnic kind of thing, unless it's really hot or whatever, if it's really hot or rainy or something, then hopefully we could get the whole, but like that time frame, like in the morning, it's either people driving into the area or doing like those tours and stuff. And I would love to have some aspect of something that we could do that would be like virtual as well, because so that people who can't come can still feel like, that they experienced a little bit of the reunion. So that I'm not really sure what would work. But, hopefully as we're like, if we, like Joanne said, if we get a date and she puts it in and they say, okay, then I think as we get closer, these kind of things can maybe be added, and certain people who know a lot about, virtual things, maybe will be like, oh, I could do this or I could do that.
Okay. Any other thoughts, folks? No other thoughts? Well, I don't see any problems, unless Joe, you can think of something, but I don't see any problems with having the reunion at the church. I mean, that's no big deal. Oh, there's John.
And I'm sure we can request to have the fellowship hall and the grove, fellowship hall, grove, and kitchen. So then that way, in case it rains, we can always go into the fellowship hall.
That sounds ideal to me.
Well, I'm going to say what's even more ideal is using the fellowship hall because it's air conditioned. So,
That's true too.
Whereas outside can get mighty sticky towards the end of July and early August.
I guess what I'm trying to think, and I agree with you, Richard. I think I'm just like kind of envisioning the first reunions and stuff like that. But if we do have the Grove, that might be nice for when the kids start getting anxious and they want to run around. They can go out with older people, older kids or parents or something, and they can run off some steam and stuff like that, and don't have to feel like they have to stay with the old people, in the hall. Right. So that would be kind of nice.
I mean,
Old people.
Well, I'm including myself with the old people.
I shouldn't talk. My mother says I've been going to the Clewell Reunion since I was in the womb. So I'm trying to find out, but I think it might be around 200, 250 to as like a non-church member rep fee, but as a church member, I think it's a little cheaper, which I could probably get since I'm gonna put, if you want me to put the paperwork in.
Yeah.
But, I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I'm scouring the church newsletter right now to see if they have it listed in here, but I don't see it. But I can double check with the church secretary tomorrow and find out.
So when would you need the $250 or whatever it might be?
Good question.
I think once they approve it, I mean, even if we gave them, depending, we could always give them half and then pay half.
So I'll cover the cost of it to get it started.
All right,
Cool.
I was looking for a
Thanks, Peter.
That's very generous. Thank you.
pen and a
Yeah. So we need to figure out what date everybody thinks would be the best date. Like, if we were looking like the last week in July, that would be July 30th. If we were looking at the first week in August, that would be August 6th. Can
I
anybody?
personally think we
Okay.
should do the last 2 weeks in July as the first and the second, or the whichever, either or, because like you said, the school starts in August in the South. So I don't know
Yeah.
that you're going to get many people with kids driving up from the South, but you might. So
Yeah,
we usually start school the first week in August.
yeah. Okay.
You want to make it the very last Saturday of July?
If you think that if like kids are starting school August 1st, 2nd, or that week, they may not be able to come to the 30th. Is that they start that soon, Peter?
So it's usually Tuesday or Wednesday of the first week in August when they start.
Okay.
Teacher's Day is the day before.
So then maybe the 23rd would be better.
Check with the church calendar and see if either of those two are available. I would go with either two, and it doesn't really matter whether it's the 23rd or the 30th to me.
let's see.
So as Joanne's looking that up, what I was thinking about doing, the next step would be like, where's the food coming from? What are we doing with how are we doing that? So what I was thinking is that I could create, I forget the name of it, but there's free sites where you can set up what you're going to need, like plastic forks, napkins, meat, vegetable dish, casserole dish, whatever. You get to choose what you put down on the menu, and then you send the link to everybody who's interested, and then they write down their name on it that they're going to bring it. And then what I've seen happen in the past is there's always a section where, gonna send $10 or $20 or whatever, because they just can't bring food. So they're just going to, pay for the food that's going to be like brought by other people to cover the costs and stuff like that. So that's what I was kind of like thinking. And then we can kind of see who's signing up for what. Like, do we have 5 casseroles and, no plates or whatever, or no desserts or something. And we can always stop it like 2 weeks before and say, okay, now if you're coming, we need money, because at that point we've already figured out, all that we have, and we can't, it would be too much to kind of like throw in more food at that point, and we would just need money or whatever. So, I mean, that could still be like kind of hammered out, but that's what I was thinking might work, instead of like asking everybody to necessarily give money. They might feel uncomfortable with that or whatever. They would maybe rather bring food. But then there's going to be some people that are just like, I'm not bringing food. I don't know how to cook food or whatever, and I'll just give money. And so it's kind of good for both kinds of people, because if we just say, oh, everybody should give, I don't know, $30 or whatever, some people might be like, oh, I don't know, I've never been to this thing before. What are they doing with my $30, or something? I don't know. So it would kind of be, yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
I'm just going to use the word cater. There's local caterers here. We can do something, and they'll bring everything, and everybody gets charged a certain fee, and it's but
then you have to know how many people are coming.
Well, exactly.
So you have to anyhow. And Richard, I agree with you, because this is not a local church gathering where everybody is nearby bringing food. This is people from all over, and they're most people from distances where it's not convenient to bring food. I'd say the catering, either catering or bringing your own food, is the 2 choices you should have.
Yeah. Okay.
But however, one year I found Moravian cookies in cans, and I thought that'd be neat to have a few special Moravian dishes.
Yeah.
Are those real thin cookies?
Yeah, they were thin cookies.
The Moravian spice cookies. Yes, they were excellent.
Yum. From Winston-Salem.
Yes. There's a bakery in Winston-Salem that you can order. I get Moravian sugar cakes.
Yeah.
And we can have one of our local ladies make Moravian sugar cake too.
I was going to say, I have a connection for good Moravian sugar cake.
So
that was one of my fondest memories. Yeah, the fondest memory was the sugar cake.
Yep, you bet. In the past, we have had clam bakes that were catered for us.
Mm-hmm.
We have had ribs from a local group. I didn't think the ribs were that good, but there's any number of local places that we can have a meal catered, and that's going to be the simplest, the easiest, and the comment was like,
though.
What?
Because I really, like, I would love, just personally, here's whatever per person in my family that are coming, and, provide food for me. But like, caterers need to know how many people are coming almost from the beginning, because they're going to say, well, what kind of, if you want ribs or clams or whatever, how many people are coming? And I don't know if we can accurately say how many people are going to be coming.
Well, if that's a problem, we can each bring our own food and not have food gatherings. The object is to meet each other and have our meeting each other program, and put the food as a side thing, unless we happen to find something special like Moravian cake or cookies.
Well, why I'm proposing the thing online is because we can have hopefully the best of both worlds. We can have donate a certain amount of money so we can have these things catered, and those people who don't want to bring food or can't bring food can do that. And then we could also include other things on there, like special desserts or whatever. Like if somebody has a special dessert that they like to make, they can, like, we can also be adding to it too. And yeah, people can, just bring for their families too. But I think it's always cool. Like I like tasting other people's food as well. Like, because everybody seems to have, like when I go to, potluck dinners, it's like, oh wow, I've never had that before, oh this is so good, or whatever. So I'm like thinking that maybe the best of both worlds, where we have a certain part of it that is catered, maybe like the meat dish, so that we know that we have at least enough meat or whatever, and maybe some of the dessert dish. Because you can put whatever you want on that online thing. Like you can say, donate $20 for a cake that's going to be bought, or like you can put anything on there. It's not limited to like actual food items.
Well, if there is food there, I think everybody would really be enjoying if it were as close to what our ancestors ate as possible. Try to have some historical recipes. That would be
Good luck
fun.
with that one.
To put it back into family history again.
Pork and sauerkraut.
Scrapple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to eat what they ate.
Oh, well, you might be right.
I like the idea of having people bring stuff, but again, I'm just want to caution you that it's one of those things that, especially with people living out of the area like yourself, Donna,
Yeah.
if they're coming in Friday, they're going to be in a hotel. They're not going to be anywhere that they're going to be able to make something. That's why when we did the reunion, it was always catered. And we'd find out from the caterer what it would cost per person. And then if it were, we'd say, hey, $10 per person. And then the Clewell family would chip in the rest with whatever,
The caterer would be responsible for food safety too, where individuals were not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we get a date, I mean, like, this doesn't have to be decided today. Like, if we have a date, then we can spread the news. It's going to be on this date. We would like to have like a picnic. And what do you think will work for your, like, who's coming? Are you coming? Like, we can spread it and say, are you coming? And then when we kind of know about how many people are coming or whatever, we can say, would you rather bring something, or would you rather have it catered? And if we know about how many people are coming, then if somebody can find out in a caterer in the area how much it might be, like, per person. And then we could say, hey, do you want to do a little bit of catering and a little bit of bringing, or do you want to just do catering? We absolutely can't just do bringing because the there's going to be things missing.
Right.
So I like the idea of catering the meal, but then maybe allowing the local folks in the community to bring the dessert tray.
Yeah. That sounds really good.
That's easy enough to do and we can focus on Moravian cookies or Moravian sugar cake and keep it simple that way. Because that's stuff you don't have to worry about in terms of refrigeration and all that other kind of stuff. Whereas the caterer, they can bring the meats and the salads and stuff that need to be refrigerated or warmed or etc. But catering is the easiest way to go under the circumstances.
Yeah. And I know in the past, usually depending on how many people we have, we usually asked for like maybe 5 or 10 more additional people, just in case somebody comes in at the last minute and says, oh, I just remembered today was the reunion. We came up hoping that maybe we could join in. So that way we at least had a little bit of extra food.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, how would we do with because I can't even remember how we did it in the past. How would we recover the expenses, to pay Peter back and for other things like that?
That would be the yearly dues. If we want to reinstitute that. I forget what was it? Was it so much per family? And then individual, it was, I can't remember exactly what the costs were.
John Beidle, do you remember what the family dues were?
I think it was something like $5 a year.
Per person?
Was that to start out with, or I thought we had upped that?
I'm not sure, but I think it was $5.
And what do you get for your $5?
It's just a contribution. That's all.
Firm
that's all it
handshake.
amounted to. A
You
thank
get to shake John's hand.
and a happy thank you. So,
Yeah, and it's not really dues per se. It's a suggested donation. That's all.
that's exactly what it was. Yep,
Yeah.
Okay.
just a request, and it helped defray expenses that the family had, for like mailings and other things like that, and so forth.
So you feel more comfortable keeping in that kind of vein where, like just asking everybody who came and we'll get into this if we start talking about the website, like say, if people want to donate, or do you want to do something like if people like sign up a yearly dues kind of thing and we mail them a membership card, part of the largest family in America or something like that or something.
Not to interrupt, but just so everybody knows, we're going to be cut off in about 2.5 minutes.
Oh,
So,
you could send another, you could create another thing and then email it to us all and we can get in again.
you mean create another meeting for
Yes.
4 o'clock? Yeah, I can do that if y'all want.
Or 3:45.
I'm not sure if everybody has the time, but do you want to just take what we've talked about, and I'll create another meeting for next Sunday? Would that work? I see one thumb.
That would work. Yeah.
All right, I'll set up another meeting for next week. And we never even got to the website, website and genealogy, which is what I wanted to talk about also. But we can mull this over a little bit, some of the suggestions, and I'll set up another meeting for next weekend, and we'll take it from there.
Can we also talk about the website, the genealogy, and any expenses that you're incurring that can be incorporated and paid for by the Clewell family?
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
So Joanne, you're gonna check on those dates?
Yeah, real quickly, if I can, 2011. Shoot. Anyway, I pulled up.
2022. We're a little.
Yeah, I pulled up a reunion letter. This is from May of 2005. And at that point, price for adults. Oh, hang on a second.
30 seconds.
Can you send it out in an email to us?
Yeah. Family dues paid prior to we're at that point, we're $4. That was 2005.
Per family or per person?
Per adult descendant. Money to help defray some family expenses, mailings, reunions, etc.
That's not even the price of a cup of coffee now.